Welcome to One No. All right. We have some guests today in our midst. D Jolly. Okay. She got a YouTube channel and she love acting, she love dancing. And after the show, you guys could follow her on YouTube. D Jolly. Welcome this evening. And our wonderful mom, Kita. And we have AJ. Welcome, guys.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. So we're going to discuss this evening about how does bullying affect teenagers. This is one of the topics that many people, they try to avoid. They don't really like to talk about it. And there's a reason for that. There's a reason for people not to discuss about bullying, children not coming back home to tell their parents. That's all that. We have to look into that as well. So I would like every one of us to bring their opinion, their views and all that. People are watching out there. You can call, or if you want to contribute ask a question or something, you are free to do that. Understand? So yes. Imagine having a dog. Okay, imagine having a dog and that dog doesn't want to eat. The dog doesn't want to do nothing. It doesn't want you to take him or her outside for a walk. You know how we take dogs out for a walk in the morning? The dog will just hide somewhere and you're trying to call the dog out because the dogs don't talk. You don't know what is happening with the dog. You don't know if the dog swallows something. You don't know if the dog is sick. You don't know nothing because you are worried sick about the dog. That's how some parents feel. That's how they sometimes, seeing their kids, they went out in the morning, they went to school or they went somewhere, coming back, moody. They go inside their room and lock themselves up. They don't want to come out. They don't want to eat. They don't want to say nothing. They are just there. As a parent, you are worried sick. You're asking, what is going on? You understand? So something like that, sometimes it can result to some of them having self-harm. Some even it can go to the extent of someone, taking their own life, which has happened so many times, understand me? So that is it. Understand? What do you guys think about it?
Well, as a mother, I'll say it's very difficult actually to see your child come home and worried and stressed and locking themselves in their room and not tell you what they have. But in a way, as a parent, I think we need to be very close to our kids. We need to be able to talk to them. We need to be able to have a conversation with them, not just when they're quiet. So this is giving them actually the opportunity to know that, when something happened, my mom or my dad or my sister is always there to listen to me. So that is a great thing. But in the other way, we can say that if your child come home, let's say, for example, your child get bullied at school, and then they come home and then they're like, oh, Mom, I think someone is bullying me. And then your response is like, either laugh it, or just say, don't consider it actually, don't take them serious, or just say to them, you're too big, how come, you get bullied by someone, or tell them, don't worry about it, maybe this is just like something that's going to pass, just go back to school. And then that's it. You don't talk about it and you close it there. So how is that child supposed to come back to you again and talk about that kind of, something that happened to them? Then they won't talk to you. They will come and then feel like, if I tell this to my parents, it's even more shameful for me because the way they take it is like they don't take it serious. So it's better for me maybe just to handle it myself. So that can be one reason, why kids in particular, don't talk to their parents because we don't listen sometimes. I'm a parent and I think all parents should have at least 15-minute talk every single day with their kids. When you come back home, just, have your little thing to eat, do your homework, and then just have like a little conversation with your child. How did the school go today? What did you do? And then just laugh with them, be friend with them, and then listen to them. even if they say something that actually is worrying, you don't have to straight away go and show them that, oh my God, this is dangerous, this is bad. Why did you do this? You need to analyze it. You need to think about what to tell them, because that can actually contribute to a lot in the future. That's what I think.
Yeah, that's it. What do you guys think?
No, I think that when, like, let's say like a random teenager just comes back from school, when just knowing that your parent isn't gonna like be there for you when you speak about what happened at school, if they're being bullied, for example, just knowing that they're not gonna be there and like just speak to you and tell you that everything's gonna be okay is like a contributor to them not telling you everything that's happening in their life.
Most times the child needs to trust the parent.
Mm-hmm.
The parent is not supposed to like judge the child,
Mm-hmm.
because when you start judging them, you're cutting them off. That means you're giving them the telling. That's like they will not have that trust to talk to you and tell you
That is true.
something like that. So, the Jolie, what do you think?
Yeah, I think it's like very important to have a good bond with your parents, because if like your parents are like your number one, they're like your number one fan, they're always there for you. But like when you go home to them and you tell them about what's worrying you, and then they cut you off, or they're not very like concerned about you, and then when you go back to school, you're just gonna feel like you're alone and you're like the only person that is experiencing this, because there's no one to talk to. And your parents are meant to be listening to you, because they're meant to be like the only people that don't judge you. But like your friends, obviously they might judge you because like they're not like really close with you, but your parents, they're like number one. So for them to leave you out, it just feels very hurtful, and you feel like you're all alone.
So what you're referring to is saying that the parents has to be a friend, someone that you can confide in, someone that can listen to you. And when the parents are not there, they're not listening to the child or the teenager or the kid. Understand? It hurts so much, innit?
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Okay. So another question I will ask is, why do you think that people avoid discussing about bullying?
Well, maybe they fear of what people think of them, because this society today is very judgmental, and like anything you say could be put against you, or people could laugh at you, make fun of you, anything. They could say anything to you, and like this society is judgmental, as I said before. So saying anything like, "Oh, I'm being bullied," could be bad for the person who's saying it.
Yeah, that's true. That's true what is saying. So I think as well, it's very hard, I think, in a way, depending on the type of bullying you get, because you have to know if you are physically bullied, it's very easy for people maybe to see it. But then when it's psychologically, like mentally, someone is like saying some word to you, or it's very difficult for people to see. So then for you to go and tell someone, you might have to be a very strong person, first of all, because when you go, you have to be, how I'm going to say this. So if you go, for example, I'm going to go back to the parents, because I'm a parent. So if you go to your parents and then say to them, oh, for example, oh, someone is bullying me, and then they go, okay, so instead of discussing what do you think I'm going to do, as a parent, I know that you are the leader. I mean, you know what to do. But sometimes you have to know this kid is being bullied at school, so they don't really want everybody to know that they told someone that they're being bullied, because that might be them being more bullied, maybe, because they can be isolated from the other people. So they don't necessarily want that to happen to them. So when they talk to you, you have to be very considerate of that. Don't just like stand up, okay, I'm going straight away to school. Who bullied you? Show me the person. That can be a little bit too much. So sometimes they feel like, oh my God, I don't know. If I tell my mom or my dad, they're very serious about this. They might just go straight to school and start, talking about it. And then the whole school will know that I'm bullied. And that can be too much for them.
So nobody wants to be associated to
bullying. Yeah.
Okay. When the child just came back and told the parent that they were bullied, and they just rush into school and start misbehaving, like showing them off and all that, then you're exposing the child as well to more bullying. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay. Guys, is there anything you guys going to say about that?
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, obviously what all of you guys said, it might be like overwhelming for the child, because I feel like when you say like someone is being bullied, like the stereotype is that they're weak, they have no friends, like no one's gonna listen to them, and obviously no one wants to carry that on their shoulders and go to school with that feeling, because it's just gonna feel like they're the only one that is experiencing this, and maybe there's other people that are experiencing this as well, but they're not looking out for help, and they're not really saying what they're really feeling. So obviously no one wants the name of being, I'm being bullied, because it just makes you stand out.
It makes you look weak.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, and some people just stay quiet because they don't want people to know that they're being bullied in the first place, because society nowadays is like, bullying is like, nah, you're weak, you have no friends, you're by yourself, like you always stay by yourself, no one wants to speak to you, no one wants to hang out with you. That's the stereotype of bullying, as she said. And like nowadays, bullying is not something you want to go through, because bullying nowadays is way worse than, let's say, back then, because now there's social media, cyberbullying, there's physical bullying, psychological, mental, everything. So I'd say it's just much worse than it is now than it was back then.
Yeah, but that's something I want to say. Sometimes bullying happens when no one is watching. For example, when an adult is watching. Let's use a school or primary school as an example. Teachers, during the break, all the kids will come out in the playground. Teachers, because there are a lot of them, they cannot see all of the kids. They cannot notice some of the kids that are isolated. Like what he said, some kids are isolated. They are just there on their own. They're playing on their own. They don't have friends they want to play with. Do you understand what I mean? And because of that, they don't just want to go out and play with other kids, because of some people that are bullying them, and they're afraid. They're staying on their own. It happened to my daughter. There's a time I noticed that she was behaving somehow, So few weeks I was just watching. When she come back, she wasn't herself a bit. Understand? So one day she came back from school. I just asked her, how was school? Did you have fun? School was okay? She was like, no, I didn't have fun. Why didn't you have fun? What's the problem? I tried to best her to tell me what really happened. She was like, yeah, she told the friends around there not to play with me. She told my friends not to play with me. Understand? If any one of them play with me, understand, they will not be her friends anymore. I said, who? Then when I find out that it's one of her friend as well in school. You know how kids, they behave.
Yeah.
You understand? I find out that she told the friends not to play with her, because if they play with her, then those girls will not be her friends anymore. You understand? It's part of bullying, understand that?
Yes.
And she was worried. Then at the end of the day, we tried to sort it out. We went to the school and sort everything out. They later became friends. You understand? It happens sometimes, that some bullying, like what you just said, might be on through social media. Like you guys now, teenagers in school, it might not be physical bullying, but through social media and all that, that is happening on the daily basis. Understand? But the question I want to ask is this: how do you think that bullying affect teenagers, especially? How do you think it affect them?
Well, you said it could, could lead to suicide, which is the worst case scenario. But in the long term, I'd say, first of all, the person who's bullying you, you don't know what's going on in their life, and you don't know why they're bullying you in the first place. Maybe they have like problems at home. Their parents aren't like giving them enough attention. They're not speaking to them. Maybe they have like an older sibling who bullies them as well, and like makes them feel smaller than they actually are. So they put it out on someone else. Like, let's say the person who's being bullied, they put it out on them.
Okay. Yeah. So just to add to that, I'll say that if you just see someone that is bullied, I mean, it's very difficult to sometimes to see it, but as parents, it might affect in different ways, because you have to know that you know your kid in general, so you know that there are different subjects. let's say in secondary school, you might notice that, oh, they're very good in 3 subjects. Let's say they're good in English, maths, and some other, subject. So they might come to maybe a month or 2, and then they will call you at school, oh, your child is not doing so well now. I don't know what happened. And then you will talk to your child and they will tell you, oh, I don't like this anymore, or I don't really want to go to school. So that's where you can notice a little bit, maybe something is going on, because then their grade might go down a lot. Yeah. And then you might think, oh, but they're trying so hard at home, but when they get to school, maybe they're not trying at all. So you might notice that they're more stressed, a little bit more stressed than usual. Or let's say when the morning comes, you wake them up, you're going to school, so it's like all weird. So they all stressed, they all they have like all this anxiety, like I don't want to go to school, so everything is like changing. You can see a person, or sometimes you can see that a very nice person is becoming very aggressive. You talk to them and then they answer you in a very aggressive way or a very bad way. And then you think, oh, she's not used to doing this, or she's not used to saying this. Maybe something else is going there. So that's like affecting them to be this way. Because in general, we say that people that bully might have, a background of being bullied. Yeah. So if your child is being bullied, they might just find a way to be, oh, maybe if I'm aggressive to other people, or themselves becoming like a bully in a way. So you talk to them in a normal way and they just like so aggressive, or they talk to you in a bad way. So that can affect them as well. So they can be more aggressive. Grade can go very, low. They can be very quiet as well, like not as sociable as, they used to be, very isolated from other people. You can just look at them and see, or school might tell you, oh, they're not playing, they don't have any more friends. We don't understand what is happening. So sometimes you can see it. Yeah, that's what I think, actually.
Yeah. Do you have something?
Yeah, I wanted to say that children, like, obviously we're still, like, until you're 18 or even beyond, you're still, like, you can still have feelings. It's just the way you control them. And obviously people control it in, like, different, like, manners. And bullying can affect, like, different aspects. Like, you could, like, stop eating. You could stop doing, like, your favorite hobbies, or stop talking to the people that you love. And then obviously people are going to notice that she's not very, like, being herself. And obviously you're going to find that there's something wrong. But then they're going to think, oh, it's normal, because they have to take their anger out some way, somehow, because obviously they can't take it out on the bully because they're, like, afraid that maybe the bully might threaten to do something. So they're going to take out that anger on the people that they actually love, which is going to hurt the people around them. So when someone is bullied, it actually affects everyone else that surrounds them. Yeah. So I think it's important to, like, when someone is being bullied, just comfort them and tell them that they're not alone.
They're not alone, yeah. Yeah. You need to especially listen to them and then let them feel comfortable to talk to you, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I pick up something from what you said, okay? What do you think that makes someone to become a bully? Because you said some of them are good people. Sometimes they are good kids. You understand? What do you think? What do you think that makes someone to become a bully?
I'm not 100% sure. I mean, I'm not an expert in that, but I think, like, most of the time you say that people that usually bully other people feels like, oh, if I go, because I was bullied maybe before, or because I'm having some trouble at home, it can be somewhere else, that I'm very pressured, I'm not feeling myself. So just in a way to take that out, from me, like, I can go and give it to someone else. So that might be like another, I'm getting like a very, a pleasure, bullying someone else. So if, for example, I've been hit or insulted or, I don't know, like isolated, if I do that to someone, I might find like a pleasure on doing that to someone else. So sometimes it's just like that, having that power, to kind of control someone else the way they have been controlled. So they're trying just actually to repeat that onto someone else. That's what I think, yeah.
Okay. I want to point out the social media aspect, because in our age, when we are growing up in school, all right, when we are growing up, the way the way we grew and the way we like behave when we're in school. There are like some things that the way we like interact with each other. Sometimes what you call bully is not really what parents might look at it as if maybe like you guys are just playing or something. Sometimes it's a fight. They can just, boys, girls, they fight and everything. And those bullies, most times they will still wait for you after school. They continue from that, they're beating you. And sometimes you see some girls as well, they're bullying someone. They're making fun of that girl and everything. But to them, they're just thinking it's just fun. They're having a fun. They're just like playing. You understand what I mean? Because though the person that they are doing that into, the person is hurting and sometimes they're crying and everything. But the other ones are just taking it as fun. They're just saving. You understand? But the society just like now categorize it into as if maybe they just call it a name as bully. But to those kids that are doing that, they are not seeing it as bullying. They're taking it as what? They're making it. They're just playing. Do you understand what I mean? And which is very, very bad. So now it's getting worse on social media. Do you understand what I mean? It's getting worse on social media. It's Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and some other. There are some of them that we, my adults, we parents, don't even know. We're teenagers, so you guys are in school. There are some other things on the website or social media that we don't know that you guys are going to. Do you understand? So I don't know. Is there any way you guys can elaborate on that?
Yeah, well, sometimes the reason they could do it on social media is just like to make themselves feel like they're bigger than the other person, like they're stronger, like they're more powerful than the other person. And maybe they'll do it just to, just to look like they're cool in front of their friends, or they just do it just to hurt them. Because some people now, like teenagers nowadays, it's not like them. When you think about bullying, the first thing you think about, the bully might be having problems at home. But nowadays, I feel like it's more different. Like maybe they just do it to hurt people. Maybe they just do it just so the other person can feel bad. Maybe making them feel bad makes them feel good because they just want to feel more powerful, more stronger than the other person because they're more weaker.
They're more weaker. Okay. I pick on that. You said they are more weaker because they are weak. They're trying to make the other person to feel the same way they're feeling. So that's why most times they do that on social media. Okay. Oh, wow. What do you think?
Yeah, because like obviously on social media, now you have more things like editing, Photoshop to make you look better or like bigger than everyone else. So when you make yourself look better, then you have like some control and power and you look down on other people. And also social media, when it's like cyberbullying, like online bullying, obviously it's anonymous. So you'll be like, oh, they can't really see my face. They can't like see what I'm doing behind the screens. So if I do it, it might not even affect them because they don't really know who I am. It's anonymous. But obviously deep inside, the other person that's on the other side of the screen is going to feel something and be like, I don't really know this person because it's a screen between us. So I don't really know what they're thinking or what they're planning. So it just makes them very like overwhelmed and worried and like, why me? And then the bully obviously just wants a reaction from them because it gives them pleasure and power, and making someone else feel bad and belittling someone else makes them feel great about themselves because obviously they think there's a hierarchy in bullying, but there's no hierarchy in bullying. Like being a bully is like not right, and making someone else feel lower is not okay because it's just like dehumanizing them because obviously they're not that way and they might feel like they're the only one that's experiencing this because other people might not speak out and obviously that's not right.
Yeah, what I wanted to say is that before they would say that actions are louder than words, but with social media, words are louder than actions because people are just saying hurtful things, mean things, words on social media, just tapping on the screen, saying, oh, this, that. And now that social media is here, people don't physically bully. They do it on a screen. They cyberbully because they're too scared to do it in their face because they know that behind the screen, like she said, they feel more powerful and they feel more stronger. Like, oh, I'm behind the screen, I'm anonymous. They don't know who I am. They don't know what I'm saying. But they don't know that they're affecting the person that they're writing to.
Yeah, but I heard some, when they were discussing it, some ministers were discussing about social media and all that. One of them said that if you cannot stand a bully on social media, then get out of social media. To me, which I think that is bad. There's no way someone else can make you to go out of social media. Do you understand what I mean? They're not supposed to side to the bully. There's supposed to be a sense of something like control that, which some of the social media platforms, they don't really care because of what you said about the anonymous. You understand, people, some of them are anonymous and they can say whatever they want to say behind that and think that they can go free, which is not right.
Easy. Yeah, it's easy to say to the person, oh, well, you've been bullied. You need to just come out from there and then, that's easy. But now you're giving even more power to that bully because they will feel like, oh, because I bullied this person, now they're not here, so I'm powerful.
And then another person.
Exactly. And then that person that just came out, you don't know how they feel now. This can lead to many other things, and that we don't know because that person is not there anymore. That person, if that person was in social media, let's say maybe to look for help or to write to someone or to ask for something, they're not there anymore. So they're out of there, and what do you know what's going to happen to that person? How do they feel now? So this person made me not even to use my phone on social media. That means that person is kind of controlling, and now they left. You made them leave, and now you don't know how they're feeling behind there, and that can be just very, very hurtful to that person as well.
Yeah, it's very, very. Sometimes social media. If you watch some of the footballers. Most times, okay, let me just use it as an example. When England play their match, they play against Croatia in the finals, isn't it? So there are some black players. I think all of them, they missed their penalties.
They played against Italy on the finals.
It was Italy? Yeah, okay, they play against Italy on finals. Rashford missed a penalty, and Jadon Sancho, and some of them, they missed the penalty and all that. But some bullies, they use the opportunity to say, they bounce on them. They say everything they want to say.
Because they knew that society wouldn't do anything about it. They knew that no one would say anything about it because that's how society is. Because since the cup, like the cup was very important, those young players, that ethnic group, it was only one ethnic group. So they wanted to pounce on it and feel more powerful than that. Oh, since it's just them, I can pounce on it. I can feel more stronger. I know that I've hurt them, and it makes them feel it makes them get pleasure. And
they just the anger because of they lost the company. They voice their anger. They just put the anger on that. But that is not right because the person, those guys now, they reading those comments. Their family reading those comments. Their friends reading those comments. Some of them, they have kids and their kids reading those comments. What do you think? How do you think they're going to feel?
It's horrible, actually.
It's horrible, which is very, very bad. You understand what I mean? So social media, I think, is the new norm now. It's why everyone is hiding. They're just there, do whatever they want to do and all that. You understand? So, like I said, when in our age, when we grow, when we're in school, it was a little bit different. You understand? But it was still happening. Understand? I don't know. Did you experience any when you were in school?
It still happened. I guess in back in my days, I guess it wasn't any phone or social media. We didn't know about this. So I think I did experience. I had this person actually will wait for me because they'll wait for me after school. And I was a person that was actually very sportive, very active, but I didn't like fighting. That was my thing because in a way I didn't like having, to getting in trouble at school because then when I go home, my parents will wait for me and then I will get in trouble with my parents as well. So those people, actually that one particular girl, knew that if I fight at school, get in trouble at school, I will get in trouble at home. So they used to actually say some hurtful things to me. Like it went off like for a long period of time. But then I wouldn't be, I wasn't able to kind of tell my parents, because I think at that time, I mean, you just have to do it yourself. You have to fight it yourself. So at one point, I think I had enough. I was like, no, today it's like I just have to stand up for myself and see how this, go. Either that person will just beat me up, or maybe this will turn. I will just, beat them up or things like that. It happened that one day, they were waiting for me. So all this crowd was gathered. I didn't know what was going to happen. So I came out, and then they were like, oh, today you're not going to escape. So you have to fight this girl. I didn't want to fight. So I just tried to turn, and then I just, received like a punch at the back. And that's where everything, started. And it went really bad, because I guess... I'm not going to say a winner, because nobody will win when you have this kind of things. So, yeah, it was a fight. And after that fight, I think like everyone knew where to be.
Did she stop that?
Yeah. So that stopped. That stopped. So we had a fight, and then that actually made the school aware of, what was happening. And then parents knew what was happening. So everybody got together, talking, and told us like, all of you are friends. You shouldn't be doing this. And so everything was resolved then. But then I think before the bully, it was very difficult to talk to anyone. I mean, it existed then, but then it was very different. It was a different way of doing things. It was just like more physical, and then, but yeah.
But did you, after the fight, did you regret fighting?
So after the fight, I thought that wasn't really like what I wanted to do. But I think at that point, it was no choice for me. So it was either you fight, or then, I was
because
like,
the bully
will continue,
okay.
and I will be like miserable at school. I will like look left and right before, coming out of school and going home. So I thought like, this is the only thing that I have to do, because I did tell people around me, this person was doing this to me. But I guess, nobody was taking it serious. We're like, oh, she's just messing with you. That's not really a big deal. But then, it's a regret.
Yeah, which like I said, in those days, parents don't really take it serious.
Yeah, no, it wasn't serious for my grandmother. When I said to her, she was like, hey, someone bully you. It was like, like, no, it doesn't exist. It was just like, oh, they're just messing with you. When they mess with you, you need to try and stand up for yourself.
Stand up for yourself.
That's what she said to me. But yeah, I mean, I still see that girl now. So we good friends. So we both regretted,
what happened.
What happened. And she did tell me, at that time, she didn't think like it was very hurtful, but, her friend was like pushing her a little bit, because, friend around you as well, they contribute a lot to all these problems, actually, yeah.
Yeah, that's what's happening. Nowadays, it happens a lot. A lot. You see many, even you watch on YouTube, you can see some adults, women, fighting, dragging their heads on the floor, getting naked and all that. It's not funny. It happens every day because of what?
It's very sad.
Really, if someone knows that maybe they tell you something and you get angry, they'll get you. Then they'll do it again. You get angry, they do it again. They tell their friends. You understand? They start calling
they push you, actually.
Calling you names and all that. You see so many people, they start fighting, but that's not supposed to be the way to settle that. No, it's not supposed to be the way to handle that situation, which is really, really bad. Understand?
Yeah. And like moving on from that, I think back then it was like, let's say teenagers were much more like stronger back then, like they could handle themselves. And now with social media, like teenagers have gotten more sensitive, because before there was only one way to bully someone physically, but now there's multiple ways to bully someone through social media and through like physically as well. So there's two, not just one.
Okay, so there's many ways now to bully someone. Social media especially. I think your age now is difficult.
It's a difficult age. It's a very difficult
social
age.
Media is good, like normally when we say social media is good. But a lot of people are just hiding behind that.
Yeah.
To do something, they do something nasty.
Yeah.
Something wrong. Understand? Which is very, very, very difficult. Understand? But as a parent, as a parent, this is a very tight situation parents find themselves into, because sometimes the kids or the teenagers, even young adults, they will not like to tell you what is happening.
Mm-hmm.
They will not like to tell you what they are passing through, what they are going through in school, because most times, like parents, we always being judgmental.
Yeah.
What is wrong with you? You're growing now. It's supposed to grow. It's supposed to be this. You're supposed to do that. It's supposed to do this. Why can't you stand for yourself? If someone do this, do that. Come on. You understand what I mean? And those teenagers, you see them, their head is down. There's no one to confide in.
Mm-hmm.
The parents is judging them. Teachers will not believe them when they will go and tell them this is what happened, because the teachers, they are tired as well.
They just sort it, in a short period, Do
you understand what I mean? They're tired. So they don't really know what to do or where to, who to talk to.
It's difficult.
It's very difficult for them, especially. And how can you be telling someone that Anonymous is a bully? It's funny.
You can't. Yeah, this is the thing. This is why they find it really, really difficult, really, really hard. That's why you're looking at nowadays, you see that teenagers, I mean, it's hard enough to be a teenager. It's hard enough to move on from primary school, year 6, and going into year 7, where you used to have one teacher with all subjects, and now you have 10 teachers or more. So there's some that you like, some that you don't like, some that like you, some that, So that's hard enough already, and with homework and all this, and then you have to be looking, to yourself like, oh, am I, do I look like everyone else? Am I handsome? Am I pretty? Because, nowadays, like girls, that's all we talk about. I mean, so you see them online, their TikTok or whatever it is, using all the I don't know, looking good, and then they made, you feel, if you're not in that kind of category, you feel really like left, so you isolate yourself. So in that context, I think I don't know, sometimes I feel like I don't know like what to do, because you can't force your child to tell you what's wrong unless they want to talk to you. And at the same time, you worry because you see them, they're not themselves. So this is why I said you need to be able to talk to your child. You need to make them to be your friend. We all know that is,
them to be comfortable
to talk to you, because that's like the most important thing nowadays. I have 2 girls and a boy, and I think we have a 15-minute talk every single day. So every single day they come back from school, I do know everything that happened at school. It doesn't matter if he just goes oh, these people was fighting today. It's not really something maybe, that is very important, but it doesn't matter. It's just good that they're telling you what is happening with them, because you don't know what's going to happen in the future. If someone is saying this to them, someone is, bullying is kind of affect your well-being. And it's not just done once. You have to know. They might just say today, oh, you're ugly. And then you're like, just go. And then tomorrow they will come again and say again.
They keep on doing it over.
They keep on doing it over and over and over again, and then tell their friends, and then they will come after you. And then at one point, you feel like you don't know what to do anymore. And if you can't confide on your parents, because they're the first people that you should, your teachers, it's like, I think it's just a period of time. You have to know that teachers, they're here, but they have a lot of things to do as well.
They have a
You're
lot
not
of
the only,
kids to look after,
you're not the only person in there that is having, oh, she pushed me again. And then, again, they will call both of you, and then let's stop. Or, they will just tell you to do something, or, you got to fight, you take your break out. That's not going to resolve it, is it now? Because after you leave school, it's going to continue. This is where things happen. That's why I think, discussing with kids is very important.
So what I got from there is that parents need to make a time to talk to their kids on a daily basis.
Very important.
So what about some parents that maybe they work long hours?
Well, I will say, if you don't have time to have a 15-minute, every single day, you might have time. You might have a day when you're not working. You might have a day where actually you got you're starting late, or you're starting, I don't know, early, but this is very important. These are your kids. You brought this kid to this life. In general, what we say, we want our kid to become better than us in the future.
Yeah.
And if you don't give them that time now, when do you give them the time? It's very important to have time for your kids. It doesn't matter. Even if it's a 5 minute, you can just sit down. Oh, how was school today? There's some parents, I'm not judging, but it's rare. It's like they don't even see the kids. I know like the life we live in now is very difficult. People have to work hard and all this, but you have to understand that these kids as well, they need you.
They need their parents.
They need their parents.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They really need the parents.
I feel like teenagers nowadays, they confide more in their friends than their parents, because they feel like since they see their friends in school, maybe outside of school, they hang out with their friends much more. And let's say, for example, like she said, the parents that usually go to work late, they're always working. Since they don't have their parents to talk to, they have to speak to someone. Maybe their older sibling or their their friend, as I said before. So if they're speaking more to their older sibling and their friend more than their parent, it says something, because their parent is the most wise one out of all of them, because the parent has been there the most. And if you're speaking to your older sibling who hasn't even like gone through life as much as your parent, they won't have the wisdom to say, oh, do this, do that. Maybe they won't even say the right thing to you, and your friend may even say the worst thing to you as well.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, you're right. That's right. That's right. So parents need to make our time. I don't know. I understand that we go out every morning looking for money. money.
We all need money.
Yeah, all looking for money out there. But parents need to make our time for their kids and all that, which is very, very important. Understand, because bullying is something that is difficult. Both the bully and the person that is getting bullied. It's very difficult. Though it might look as if maybe the person that is bullying the other one is having fun, is enjoying himself. Sometimes when they're on their own, they will cry about what they did. They are regretting what they did. But it's because they're trying to when they come in front of their friends, they try to show off in front of their friends. They keep on doing the same thing over and over again.
They're doing it to feel like wanted by them.
Do you understand? So, but when you see them one-on-one, they will just like say to you, I'm sorry.
True.
I'm really sorry. I don't know what I was doing, something like that. So I'm sorry, because you look at them, you find out that they are so weak too.
Yeah,
they are weak.
And also, I want to say that maybe the one that was getting bullied may turn to the bully, so they don't feel like they're weaker anymore. Maybe since they've been bullied, like for so long, they're like, oh no, I'm not going through this anymore. I'm gonna be the bully this time. I'm gonna, like, let's say they're moving to a new school. They have a clean slate. They don't know anybody. And they feel like, oh, I don't know who to speak to. I don't know who to confide to. So they're just gonna be like put a whole shadow over them and be a different person, like a rude person, a bad person, someone who other people don't want to hang out with. But now they're like, oh, at least no one is bullying me. At least I feel like I'm stronger than other people.
You're just protecting themselves in a way, because you're protecting yourself for feeling like I'm not going to go through, what I went through already. So this time I'm going to be the strong one, thinking that you're doing the right thing. Which is no, you're doing the same thing that was done to you. The other person is doing
to you and all that.
Yeah.
Which is very, very bad. And that is the reason why they need their parents, or they need someone, a guardian, someone that can direct them.
Yeah, because bullying is very hard to get out of if you don't have the right person to guide you out of it.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right. Wow, that's crazy.
I know.
Really, it's really crazy, because like I said at the beginning, I said, I don't know why most people don't like talking about it, because it's something that they have taken a lot of lives. Especially young teenagers. It's taking their lives. You see, most of them, they will turn to self-harm. They're harming themselves. They don't like talking. They don't like even associate with people. They're just being isolated. They're on their own. They are just calling for help, but there's no one. Maybe their parents or their guidance, they don't really care. They don't, and the kids could be like, oh, nobody cares about me. Talk about it, but nobody love me. You understand? You see some kids, they say that, nobody love me and all that. At the end of the day, you see they take their life just for nothing. But someone could have stopped that just by talking. You understand what I mean? And this is a very, very difficult situation where parents need to talk to their kids. They need to open up to their kids. Let those kids at least confide in them. just have that faith. Believe in them that if I tell you this, someone else will not hear it. Do you understand what I mean?
Yeah.
You're not going to use it against them.
I feel like, I don't know about how it was for you guys, but I feel like back then parents were there more often, and they were like you know, putting children around saying, "Oh, you have to do this, you have to be here, be stronger." But now that, let's say, teenagers are being bullied, they don't have anyone to talk to. They don't have anyone to make them feel stronger, because back then their parents were always harsh on them, making them feel strong, and they're like, "Oh, you can't be weak like that. You can't be doing that," and it makes them have like a hard shell. They're like, "Oh, I have to listen to my mom, to my dad, and be like, oh, I can't just be being weak, just letting this bully do that to me. I have to fight through it and be tough."
Yeah.
Okay. Wow.
It's hard. It's very difficult.
DJ,
Yeah.
what do you think?
Yeah, I also wanted to say, like, earlier on, you guys touched upon, like, being a bully. And I feel like being a bully, if you realized in, like, movies and real life as well, bullies are not, it's not just one person that goes to the victim. It's not, like, one-on-one. I feel like bullies feel more powerful when they're around other people, because they can show, "Oh, guys, everyone, look, I'm, like, very powerful. Look at how I'm treating this person. Or look, they're like very like weak now. They have no one to talk to." And then now I feel like everyone else, they're going to be looking at this bully and we're like, "Wow, this bully is actually very powerful. Like, it's better I stay on their side or I'll get bullied as well."
Okay.
That's why I feel like bullies make other people like go on their side, so the other people don't want to be like a victim, because no one obviously wants to be a victim, because being a victim is seen as like weak, like you don't have anyone to talk to.
Sure.
That's why people surround bullies, so the bully doesn't bully them.
And the thing is, those friends of the bully, they don't even really like them. They're just being fake, as you said. They're just being fake, just so they don't get bullied as well, because they don't want to be on the bad side of that person, because they're scared of that person.
They're scared of the bully.
Yeah.
Oh, come on. This is crazy.
It's a tricky one.
It's really
It's very hard. It's very difficult actually to know how to stop it. This is the thing, because it goes, it's like it repeats itself. Yes. So it goes to one child. If it's not sorted enough, that child will go to bully someone else, and it just
it's keep on going right there.
So if you really think about it, they're just being sheep. They're just following their leader.
Most of the time.
And the leader is
the bully.
Is the bully.
Yeah.
And they wouldn't do it one-to-one, because then they're not strong enough.
Then they have
When it's like when their friends are not there, you see
like,
them,
"Oh,
they're all gentle.
There's no reason. There's no reason to do it if there's no one watching.
Yeah.
So they want to show off.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Seriously, it's not funny. It's bad.
Yeah, it is bad. It is worrying, because more and more people just having this trouble now, and I don't know what everyone can do about it, but I know parents, it's not all the time that we have to be a parent. Sometimes we can be a friend to our kids as well. We can talk to them, we can laugh with them. This is how sometimes things come out from teenagers. I know they're very serious. They think like, oh, they're 14, they're 15 now, they're like big, and all you see, they're changing. But you have to know they're going through puberty as well. A lot of things are changing.
Changing on the body.
And a bully on top of that can be just like,
too much.
It's too much. So sometimes let's just, go back a little bit, be a friend.
It. Yeah. So, okay, guys, we're going to round up this evening with this last question I want to ask. Okay, what can someone do when they are being bullied? This is something I want you guys to think about it. I want you to talk about it, just like think, because this is everything that we've said. We talked about the bully, we talked about what causes bully and everything that's surrounding it, social media and all that. But now, putting yourself in that situation, put yourself in that person's shoe, what can you do when you get bullied?
Well, in school, when they talk about bullying in like assemblies, the first thing they say is, if you're being bullied, speak to someone. Just speak to someone. So that's my answer for it, because the most common thing to do when you're being bullied is speak to someone, your parent. If your parent isn't there, speak to maybe your closest friend, and maybe your sisters, your brothers, or a teacher. Just speak to anybody, and at least you know that you spoke to someone, and you know that you haven't just kept it to yourself.
Do you just go to any teacher or
No, like not any teacher. I mean, the one that you feel most comfortable with.
someone that you know that can listen to you?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think there's some stuff sometime at school that are in
Yeah.
place for this as well.
Yeah, I
don't
was
know.
also gonna say that I think like it depends. Like sometimes it doesn't have to be just a teacher or a parent. It just has to be someone that you really trust, and you know whatever you say, yeah, they can help you. They'll always be by your side.
And they'll listen to
And
you.
yeah, and also maybe if you don't have that courage yet and you don't really want to go publicly to someone, maybe you can go online to Kooth or like some online apps where you can speak anonymously to someone, because I mean social media, there's like pros and cons to it. Like obviously the cons are like cyberbullying, and the pros are that there are actually apps that can help you. And obviously everyone that is on social media, they feel like they have a power because there's a screen. So when you're a victim to bullying and you go anonymously, you feel more comfortable because the person doesn't know you. Like they don't know your background, they don't know what's happening. So when you tell them, you're like, okay, I can tell this person because they don't really know me, and it's anonymous. So they're gonna feel like comfortable.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because if you do it to a person, maybe let's just say, for example, to your closest friend, they'll have like a bias to it. You need someone that, to the website, for example, the app, you need someone who doesn't know you, and they'll just give you like a straight answer, and they won't like, give you a biased answer. They'll give you a straight answer, and they'll give you a fair answer. They'll say what they actually think you should do, and they'll give you like, they'll give you like a hope, saying that, oh, at least I know that they're not faking it or they're lying to me.
Yeah,
At
they
least
will
they told
help
me
me.
the truth.
Yeah, they will support you and see you through that. Because talking to a friend as well, you have to be very careful because they might be just pushing you a little bit more to go and do something by yourself, or even going directly, like you said, bias to the bully, and they say, "Oh, I know what you did," or "I know what you're doing," and that might come back to you again, and this can be like very bad. So yeah. Or write it down. Write something. Let someone read it. Don't know. Let someone read it. Someone that you really trust. Sometime, but it's not easy.
What I was just thinking, what if a situation where because what you guys just saying about now is probably online bullying, social media bullying. I'm talking about, what about physical bullying? When someone is bullying you physically, what can you do?
No, but I feel like I don't see physical bullying as much nowadays because people are maybe too scared to do it in front of their face. But for the example, if they are doing physical bullying, it's much more easier to speak to someone. It's much more easier to speak to someone, because if, let's say, that bully is just saying, "Oh, you're ugly, this, you're doing that," you're like, why do you speak like that? Why do you look like that? You tell like your parent, maybe your friend, they'll tell you what to do. But when it's online, it's much more difficult because you don't know who they are, because they could be anonymous. You don't know the account where they're coming from.
Yeah, when you said physical is actually, I will say, it's very bad, but it's actually it's easier for people
handle.
to know that something has happened to you.
Okay.
So if you're bullied physically, you can, either school can realize that something is happening, or your parents will see that something is happening. So that's actually very easier to control, rather than if it's like emotional, someone is telling you, "Oh, you're ugly every day, look at your hair," or look at your clothes that you're wearing. That's difficult because sometimes you go and tell someone, a teacher, they will just laugh it out. It's like, "Oh, it doesn't matter what you wear, just tell them it's fine."
And they can tell someone else, and from there, the story
and then
just
they will
going
just
around
say,
the school.
"That's it, that's what I'm talking about."
And if it's online, they'll be like, "But I don't know who you're speaking about. I don't know where it's coming from." Online is different. But as you guys said, when it's physical, it can just be passed around. People are saying, "Oh, do you know that this person is bullying this other person?" It will just be spreading around, and other people start to know and maybe even help you and back you up.
Okay. All right. Thank you, guys. Really, we're coming to the end of this segment. All I have to say is this: bullying I said this at the beginning. Understand?
It's a very sensitive.
It's a very sensitive
Yeah.
topic. Many people, especially parents, they need to discuss, talk about it. Understand? Even teenagers, they need to like have a chat with their friends as well, talk about it. Understand me? Because there's no need putting it under the carpet and just hiding it there. Why there are some people at home, they are dying. They don't know who to talk to and all that. But once they find out that they're friends, they know what to say to them. Do you understand what I mean? Because all these things we just said now, when you think about it, that you see a girl that, or a boy that is being bullied or something, they're experiencing that, and then you talk to them and say, okay, this is what, calm down, this is happening, this, I know how you're feeling, I know what you're going through, okay? Do this, do that, do this. You change someone's life.
You do.
Do you understand what I mean? So this is what we're saying. And if you're watching us or wherever you're watching us from, understand what I mean? So it's good for you to talk about it. Talk with your friends. What I learned today, parents need to talk with their kids. They need to talk to their teenagers. They need to talk, have a conversation. Ask them about their school is going, how their friends are, what is it that they like, what is it that they don't like. Try to find out what your kids they know.
Leave them that little open door, you know,
for them
so
to communicate and all that.
Yeah.
You understand? So other than that, really, thank you guys. I really appreciate you guys coming in. Thank you, Jolie. Thank you, beautiful mom. Thank you, AJ. Understand? I think maybe once again in future, you guys can we'll come around again, have a one-on discuss about something different. Yeah. Understand? Thank you guys. If you are with us to this time, I would like to say thank you. We appreciate. Don't forget to share this program. Don't forget to like, understand, and then subscribe to our channel as well. We gonna go now.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.